Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Anthony Cirillo. I am your host and the founder of Sage Stream, the Senior Entertainment Live Stream Interactive Network. We are in our second week of 16 weeks of programming. I started off last week with our Valentine's program. So we're glad to have folks from a variety of places. We're broadcasting simultaneously to our platform on Vimeo that our folks have subscribed to watch this program. There's some people who are a member of my private Sage Stream Facebook group. So there, and then we're also broadcasting on the National Association of Activity Professionals private Facebook page, and you never know who's going to drop in from there. We had somebody from the UK last week, so I think her name was Elizabeth. So she was watching from her home. So you never know. We'll see who comes on board. Remember, this is live, and this is a soft launch, as I call it. So things can happen. If by any reason something goes down, don't go away. I will reboot and come back. I always like to say that because this is live, I guess, television in some sense. And we do pride the fact that we are live in the moment so that we can converse with you through the chat. And that's what makes this the best part is if you participate on the other end of the TV there. So if there's something you want to hear with our guest today, let me know. I'll relay the message, or if there's a shout out or a birthday or whatever it might be, just let us know. So I'm going to put my headphones on so I can bring in our first guest, or our only guest, I should say. All right, you're live and on camera, Mr. Nick DeMatteo. Welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Oh, I'm super excited. So Nick is a colleague and a friend, and we're going to turn the tables on each other, I guess, tomorrow. I'm going to be on your podcast. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. I do a podcast called Music is Not a Genre. I talk about all kinds of music, and part of that show is I interview people. I've done a few dozen interviews, and I asked Anthony to be on the show, and he said yes. We're recording tomorrow, and it will debut next week.
Awesome. So why don't you tell the folks a little bit about yourself?
So I am a singer-songwriter, producer. I come from a musical family. My dad is a musician. He's been performing, for a very, 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 very long time. I fell in love with myself, with songwriting and producing my own music. What I do is actually more along the lines of electronic rock and pop, alternative and some other things mixed in there. That's kind of where my passion is. But as my podcast says, music is not a genre. I like all kinds of music. I believe in blurring the lines. So today I'm not going to be doing any of that kind of music. I've decided to dedicate this day to just what I'm calling jazz standards.
Standards. They always work.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So good. So with that, remember to, if I communicate with you, just look at the little chat box there in case anybody pops in.
Okay.
And with that, you're going to hear some applause, which means I changed the scene, and it's just you, and I disappear, and nobody will be able to hear me, and I'll just be listening in and monitoring all these simulcasts. All right, my friend?
Sounds great. Thank you.
All right, get to it.
Thank you for that applause. That's wonderful. Yes, so a couple of things here before I get started. Thanks again to Anthony and Sage Stream for having me on. I'm very excited to be a part of this. I think it's a great initiative and a great company, and I hope it goes far. And as I said, today's going to be dedicated to kind of jazz standards, or what you might call the Great American Songbook. It's something that I've been around my entire life primarily because of my dad, and probably fell in love with it big time when the movie When Harry Met Sally came out, with the soundtrack with Harry Connick and done by Mark Shaman. So you're going to hear a couple of those songs in there, and I'm kind of keeping this whole set as sort of a mellow welcome to my living room or studio or office or whatever this is at this point. Just listening in on what I might be doing or playing for my own pleasure as I'm sitting here. So in general, it's going to be a kind of a mellow thing, which I'm very excited about. And yeah, like I said, I've been excited and into this music for a really long time. And I'm kind of dedicating this set to my dad and my mom for, always encouraging what I'm doing right here. And it's going to feel a little bit like the sets that I did at the height of the pandemic. I did a bunch of shows in 2020, probably about 80 shows online. And some of those shows were dedicated to this kind of music. So let me get started. Got my cheat sheet here. This first song, as I mentioned, I know I heard this song before the movie When Harry Met Sally, but I think Harry Connick's version really helped to define it more for me. It's a classic, and you'll probably recognize it. As you notice, I have one headphone on and one headphone off. I prefer to hear my voice live, so but I need the headphones, not just for Anthony, but for the actual, the keyboard. It had to be you. It had to be you. I wandered around, finally found somebody who could make me be true, could make me be blue, or even be glad just to be sad, thinking of you. Some others I've seen might never be me, might never be cross, try to be boss, they wouldn't do. For nobody else gave me a thrill. With all your faults, dear, I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you. It had to be you. Some others I've seen might never be mean, might never be cross, try to be boss, they wouldn't do. For nobody else gave me a thrill. With all your faults, dear, I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you. It had to be you. When I do gigs for music other than my own music, a lot of what I do is Beatles music, and in future set here on Sage Stream, I'll probably dedicate one of those to the Beatles. But one of the things that the guys and I, like to joke about is that we don't rehearse. We know the song so well that we don't really need to go over them. And if it's any given set, we might have 4 Beatles songs that we haven't done before, which we could just go over ourselves and maybe brush up right before the gig. And a lot of what happens in the first set is kind of easing the crowd into, what's going on, unless it's a big show where we start big and they want us to do that. And some of that easing is we call that our warm up. We call that that's our rehearsal. That's our warm up. That's kind of how I'm approaching this right now. So I hope you're enjoying this wonderful rehearsal / warm up. This next song is also from, well, again, it's a classic, but it's also from that same movie. It's where I really, again, fell in love with it. And, Harry Connick's version and Mark Shaman doing the arrangements, the big band arrangements. You will recognize the song, I think, pretty much from the first line. Missed the Saturday dance, heard they crowded the floor, couldn't bear it without you, don't get around much anymore. Thought I'd visit the club, got as far as the door, they'd have asked me about you, don't get around much anymore. Darling, I guess my mind's more at ease, but nevertheless, why stir up memories? Been invited on dates, might have gone, but what for? Awfully different without you, don't get around much anymore. Darling, I guess my mind's more at ease, but nevertheless, might stir up memories. Been invited on dates, might have gone, but what for? Yeah, it's different without you. I don't like being without you. Don't get around much anymore. So those are the, two perfect examples of why I love this music so much. Like I said, I do a podcast called Music Is Not a Genre. A couple of episodes ago, I did an entire episode on crooning, on crooners, and specifically on Frank Sinatra, kind of answering the age-old question, is he the best crooner? Where does he rank? How do you feel about him? How do I feel about him? What other crooners have been awesome throughout history? Crooning still alive and well today. Not just, people doing what we're doing here, but in popular music. And I learned something, I'm talking to my parents, that for the longest time, and I don't know if this changed officially or not, but it's not how I always thought of it, that crooners, was specifically meant to describe only male singers. And I guess it was that kind of like, close to the mic, Bing Crosby, and, when all of that started, and then straight through the ages. But growing up, not knowing that and not growing up in that era, I just associate crooning with a type of music. And when you think of other people, and when jazz singers, Dinah Washington, Sarah Vaughan, or people more recently like Diana Krall, Nora Jones, a lot of what they do to me is crooning. So I'm doing this entire episode on crooning, not realizing that there was another definition of it that predated what was going on. But I kind of like where we are. And speaking of Frank Sinatra, that episode was dedicated to that. This next song is a song, again, done by a million people. But Frank Sinatra probably, at least the one I know, the version I know, is the one that's the most famous to me and the one that's sort of iconic. And it's one that I used to do a lot when I used to play not coffee houses, but like cocktail parties and, pre-show and things for like pre-wedding and hotels and all of that. I would do this kind of music, primarily just instrumental. So it's kind of a treat to be able to sing it too. Just in time, I found you just in time. Before you came, my time was running low. I was lost, my losing dice were tossed. The bridges all were crossed, nowhere to go. Now you're here, and now I know just where I'm going. No more doubt or fear, I found my way. For love came just in time. You found me just in time and changed my lonely life that lovely day. Oh, now you're here, and now I know just where I'm going. No more doubt or fear, I found my way. For love came just in time. You found me just in time and changed my lonely life, that lovely, lonely life, that lovely, lonely life, that lovely day. So jazz standards, swing, stuff like that. Doesn't just include these kind of pretty well-known songs, that were done strictly by people who were just popular jazz singers and crooners. There's some other stuff out there that would be more leaning towards jazz. And I talk about that in the podcast, how there are people who croon who are not strictly crooners, who maybe do other kinds of music, but they love crooning too. But then there are people who only croon, And again, how you define Frank Sinatra, I think, is up to how well you know his catalog and what you think about him. This next guy, though, or this next song, was made famous, to me anyway, and I know it's been done by a lot of people, by Mel Torme, who was always one of my favorite vocalists when I was a kid. He, to me, was sort of the counterpart in some ways to Ella Fitzgerald, who they both were incredible at scatting. They both could sing pretty well-known pop songs, but then just lay into jazz like that's where they live. And that, he was called the Velvet Fog because of the smoothness of his voice and his ability to just flow effortlessly from one note to the next, throughout his range. And so this song is one that I used to do all the time when I would go and hang out with my dad at the clubs that he played at. He would call me up. He would do the playing, and I would do the singing. And so eventually I learned to, deal with the thing here you can't see, which is the piano, so that I can play and sing it, on my own. And it's called When Sunny Gets Blue. When Sunny gets blue, her eyes get gray and cloudy, then the rain begins to fall. Pitter-patter, pitter-patter. Love is gone, so what can matter? No sweet love of man comes too cold. When Sunny gets blue, she breathes a sigh of sadness, like the wind that stirs the trees. Wind that sets the leaves a-swaying, like some violins are playing. Weird and haunting melody. People used to love to hear her laugh, see her smile. That's how she got her name. Since that sad affair, she's lost her smile, changed her style. Somehow she's not the same. But memories will fade, and pretty dreams will rise up where her other dream fell through. Hurry, new love, hurry here to kiss away each lonely tear and hold her near when Sunny gets blue. People used to love to hear her laugh, see her smile. That's how she got her name. Since that sad affair, she's lost her smile, changed her style. Somehow she's not the same. But memories will fade, and pretty dreams will rise up where her other dream fell through. Hurry, new love, hurry here to kiss away each lonely tear, and hold her near when sunny gets blue. Hey, hey. Yeah, so one of my favorites. I don't get to do this music that often, so this is a real treat for me. I mean, I guess you could say I could do it whenever I like, but you know, you go where the jobs are, and that's why I'm excited to be doing this. So staying to me again with sort of the jazzier side, and this may be the first song in the set. If for any of you who know this kind of music that you might not know. Not assuming you might know it, but you back there in the, yeah. This is a song written by Mary Lou Williams. And I talk a little bit about my podcast, how we do not necessarily know all of the incredible women who were songwriters during the years of Tin Pan Alley and Brill Building and everything in between. She was one of them. She was also a jazz pianist and arranger and a composer who created hundreds of songs. This song is called Satchel Mouth Baby, and it's released in 1943. There was a movie named for it, named by, the song, released in 1946. And the reason why I know this song at all is because way, way back, I bought a compilation of Nat King Cole stuff. And this was done not vocally by him. This was prior to that, when he was known primarily as just an amazing pianist, amazing jazz piano player, and this was his trio. And it's just a song I fell in love with when I heard, and anytime I get a chance to play a set like this, I play this song. Satchel Mouth Baby, we can have a lot of fun, yes, a lot of fun, because you are the cutest one. You're so sweet, neat, walking down the street, and all the fellas gonna holler, you are the cutest one. You're so heavenly, what a thrill for me, honey, can't you see I'm in love? Satchel Mouth Baby, we could have a lot of fun, yes, a lot of fun, because you are the cutest one. You are the cutest one. Yeah. You're so heavenly, what a thrill for me, honey, can't you see I'm in love, love, love? Satchel Mouth Baby, we can have a lot of fun, yes, a lot of fun, because you are the cutest one. You are the cutest one. You are the cutest one. Yes, thank you. Yeah, God. I mean, that kind of stuff. So that's a great example of a song. It's not strictly blues based, but you can hear that influence. And since a lot of jazz came from the blues, it kind of falls closer to me to kind of a straight up jazz song than would something like Don't Get Around Much Anymore, stuff like that. But speaking of Nat King Cole, going into his vocal years, this is a song that everyone will probably know if you know this kind of music. And it's a song that I've, again, loved for a really long time and have done this quite a bit. Used to sing it, again, with my dad. And let's see. E-flat's a very common key for a certain type of vocalist. I've been doing quite a few songs in that in this set. When I fall in love, it will be forever, or I'll never fall in love. In a restless world like this is, love is ended before it's begun, and too many moonlight kisses seem to cool in the warmth of the sun. When I give my heart, it will be completely, or I'll never give my heart. And the moment I can feel that you feel that way too, is when I fall in love with you. In a restless world like this is, love is ended before it's begun, and too many moonlight kisses seem to cool in the warmth of the sun. When I give my heart, it will be completely, or I'll never give my heart. And the moment I can feel that you feel that way too, is when I fall in love with you. So, back to, thank you, by the way. I'm having a great time. Back to Harry Connick. Again, not a song he wrote. I don't know very many of those. But this is something from his album 25, which, can anybody tell me what age he was when he released that? No, and Adele didn't do it first, although she's got a great voice too. This is an old Tin Pan Alley song written by Hoagie Carmichael and Johnny Mercer in 1933. And I've always loved, as far as Connick goes, A, his piano playing first and foremost, and B, when he lays into his New Orleans roots, that's when he really comes alive for me. And by the way, before I finish this, big shout out to Atrium Senior Living in Allentown, PA. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I hope you're watching every week. Everything that Anthony puts on is amazing. All the guests are amazing, and I'm happy to be playing for you today. Atrium Senior Living, Allentown, PA. And so this song was done with, you know what? I didn't put this guy's name in my notes, but you'll look it up. Look up Harry Connick 25, Lazy Bones. There is a guest vocalist on there who trades off vocals with Harry Connick on this song. And I'm going to play the song, you know, as if I'm actually lazy. Lazy bones, sleeping in the sun. How you expect to get your day's work done? Never get a day's work done. Sleeping in the noonday sun. Kind of my kind of guy. Lazy bone, sleeping in the shade. How you expect to get your cornmeal made? Never get the cornmeal made. Sleeping in the evening shade. When the taters need spraying, bet you keep praying the bugs fall off the vine. And when you go fishing, I bet you keep wishing the fish won't grab your line. Now lazy bones, loafing through the day. How you expect to make a dime that way? Never make a dime that way. Never hear a word I say. Anthony told me that Johnny Adams was the other singer, and he recorded this with Harry Connick actually just a little bit before he died. So, you know, it was kind of a wonderful capture of an amazing voice. Now when taters need spraying, I bet you keep praying the bugs fall off the vine. And when you go fishing, I bet you keep wishing the fish won't grab your line. Now lazy bones, loafing through the day. How you expect to make a dime that way? You'll never make a dime that way. You'll never hear a word I say. Lazy bones. Yeah. So couple more, I think. As I see you got like 10 minutes or so. So yes, and Anthony told me that he died in so September 14th, 1998 is when Johnny Adams died. So yeah, I mean, I think Harry Connick was 25, just a few years before that. So that makes sense. As I mentioned, I don't do a lot of this music when I write and record, but there is one exception way back when I was, in love with this. Not that I'm not now, but was for the first time. I paid homage to it in a way by writing a song in this style, and it's a song that I have yet to actually record. So, maybe I'll do that at some point. It's because it's this kind of music. It doesn't fit in with my band Rex, as you can see back here. A lot of my releases under the name Rec, but I might be doing a jazz album in the next couple of years. Who knows? And this is a song called "Is It Hot in Here or Is It Just Me?" Is it hot in here or is it just me? Do you see the same things, baby, that I see? Oh, I'd like to take you home tonight, but what's it gonna be? Is it hot in here or is it just me? Is it hot in here? Give me a sign. You can tell me yes or no, and I won't mind. Oh, but I just can't wait. It's getting late, and I don't have the time. Is it hot in here? Just give me a sign. Oh, I saw you cross the room, and you made my heart swoon. Now I think about you every night and day. Oh, the way you looked at me, I thought it was meant to be. But I guess that love does not work out that way. I'm in love with you, but I wanna know, do you love me too? And if you do, then let it show. Oh, I'm hanging by the threads of your reality. Is it hot in here, or is it just me? Hey, I saw you cross the room, and you made my heart swoon. Now I think about you every night and day. Oh, the way you looked at me, I thought it was meant to be. But I guess that love does not work out. I guess that love does not work out. It's so hot in here, but it's getting cold. If I wait here any longer, I'll get really old. Oh, but don't you know that I can't go? I've got to wait and see. Is it hot in here? Don't say it's not, my dear. Is it hot in here, or is it just me? Or is it just me? Or is it just me? Please don't say it's just me. Well, yeah, so that's an original. I think I have time for one more song, and this is a song that was done or written first in 1945, and it's done by hundreds of artists. This is one you may or may not know. It's sort of on the borderline there. It's not quite as famous as Don't Get Around Much Anymore, or It Had to Be You, or Just in Time. It's not as obscure as maybe Satchel Mouth Baby. And if you know it, good for you, because it's one of my favorite songs. And again, it's a song that I like to play all the time when I do sets like this, which is apparently once every 2 years. So here we go. This is Since I Fell for You. When you just give love and never get love, you better let love depart. I know it's so, and yet I know I can't get you out of my heart. You made me leave my happy home. You took your love and now you're gone. Since I fell for you, love brings such misery and pain. I guess I'll never be the same. Since I fell for you. It's too bad and it's too sad, but I'm in love with you. You love me, then you snub me, but what can I do? I'm still in love with you. Oh, I guess I'll never see the light. I get the blues most every night. Since I fell for you. Since I fell for you. Since I fell for you.
And nothing like canned applause, right?
Damn right. Still feels good.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Nick. You know what? Well, first of all, tell the audience about what you do with your wife when you're performing. Wow, that was suggestive. I mean, musically performing.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about the public version of that. We have a duo called C+N. And Catherine Lundgren she's my wife, and we've been performing for a few years together, and we have actually written a song together that we're recording now and we'll be releasing soon. But mostly what we do is kind of a mix of this stuff and pop music and old rock songs and things like that, and love doing the harmonies or trading off vocals and stuff. And at some point, probably in the future, she'll be on the show with me.
Awesome. And how do people get in touch with you in terms of your social media stuff?
So if you go to nickdematteo.com or nickdematteo.com/contact, either one, or you can just hit the contact link at the top of the page. Sign up there. It's just it's free sign up. You'll be on the newsletter, and then it's easy for me to get in touch with you. You can get in touch with me. I get emails directly. All of the links to Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all of that stuff are on there as well. So I think nickdematteo.com is probably the easiest.
That's awesome. And the name Nick DeMatteo is right on the chyron there underneath him. He can't see it, but just point down.
Right there. See?
Exactly.
Yeah. Easier to spell when you see it.
Exactly. I didn't even know how to tell. I was going to, is it Matteo? Is it Matteo? I had to ask Nick before we started out today. I said, I've known him now at least a year and a half probably. So, and, look forward to hopefully when this thing is chugging along for Nick to be a host. As you can probably tell, he's going to be pretty good at it because he's very conversive and has stories to tell, and I'm sure he'll be welcoming. And the other thing, Nick, is, when you and your wife were performing, I guess, for our holiday program, you're doing a lot of upbeat songs and rock songs, things like that. It was a lot of fun. And I just didn't realize how smooth and charming your voice is. I was very impressed.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Thank you. I've always wanted to be more sort of a chameleon. So, if I can get into it, I will.
Yeah, that's what I love doing too. I pride myself on a vast repertoire, as I'm sure you do. So,
I've seen it. I've seen it in your newsletters. Yeah, it's good stuff.
So, I want to thank you. I will bid you adieu, and I have a little housekeeping to wrap up our program. But we will talk tomorrow on your show.
Excellent, great. I'm looking forward to having you. Thanks for having me today.
All right, Nick. Thanks.
Okay.
See you soon.
You're welcome. Take care.
All right, everybody. So, as you can see, this was week 2. I think it went very well. And Nick did a great selection of songs. And I think what's even better is he gave you some of the background, which I think is so important. And from my viewing, I could tell we've had viewers from all the platforms today. So that's good to know. But you're very shy out there. We need you to participate a little bit more so we can recognize the people on your end. And so, speaking of people, next week on the 28th, we have 2 o'clock Eastern. We have 2 comedians. We have Tom Padovano. They're on the left there. Tom is old school. He's a pretty funny guy. You'll have to pay attention to what he's saying to get some of the jokes, but he's really funny. He's written jokes for Rodney Dangerfield and Don Rickles and all kinds of other folks. And so we found him a couple years ago. He's helped us out a bunch, and he's a big supporter of what we're doing. And Nancy Ann Horvath, she also has works in the healthcare field as I do. And so a lot of her humor is based on healthcare. I'm sure we all have our healthcare stories that we can then make into fun. So we're going to be glad to see both of those folks on as well. The week after that, I believe we have Leah Miller, and she will also be on a Tuesday. That'll be our first February or March program, and she'll be on at 10 a.m., and she'll be doing painting by watercolors. So for the next 2 weeks, we will not have music, but we will have art in another form. So we're looking forward to that. And of course, for those of you who are watching, especially those who are in care homes, if you could take a picture of that QR code on the bottom left, it's a survey. Tell us how we're doing. How was the show today? How was our technology? Did you hear it well? Did you see it well? Did it work on your end? Because your technology needs to work as well. How about your residents? Did they like it? Were they toe tapping? Even those who were non-responsive most of the time. Did they have any behavior changes? That's what our survey tries to gauge, because we want to show people that this is impactful and effective. So we really need you to fill out the survey if you have a chance. And then, of course, we're in week 2 of our 16-week bundle of entertainment. You can see the full schedule there. Yep, Leah Miller is that week. And then the following week after that is Alan Mann. He was on our holiday program as well. Alan's great. He's a old crooner from Great Britain, and he looks the part, and he sings the part, and he's a delightful guy. And when we had him on our Christmas show, it was kind of funny because I had Nick and his wife on, and I had Nancy Ann on, and I bring all my guests back at the end of the show so we can all kind of converse together. And we had 2 boxes that were full, and one was empty because in the UK it was already past 8 o'clock at night, and Alan didn't have his he didn't have his dinner yet. So so there you go. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for week 2 of the Sage Stream launch. And there's a QR code if you want to gift this program to somebody you think could use it, whether it's a caregiver who needs respite or another older person who may be home alone, and maybe you can go watch it with them. I encourage you to scan that QR code, and you can purchase the 16-week bundle. It'll, in another couple weeks, we'll probably, because we'll be somewhat into the program, we will probably reduce the price of that bundle as well, so keep a lookout for that. So in the meantime, next week, our 2 comedians. The following week, watercolors. The next week, we'll have music by Alan. I will do 1 show a month, and I just did one last week on Valentine's, and that's about what we got for today. So thanks, everybody. We'll end the usual way with our logo and music to take us out, and we will see you next week.